Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing one of my favorite videos to watch. I'm going to be doing 3 looks with 3 different palettes, 2 of them being from one of my favorite brands, and I'm so happy to finally have these in my hands. And I'm getting ready to film the 3rd look with the 3rd palette today. But if you guys want to see the looks that I created, maybe you want a little inspiration, then just keep watching.
We don't need to be worried. We don't need lots of money. So tonight put your hands in the air. Act like you just don't care.
If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Heather. I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe and don't forget to click the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. But let's go ahead and get into this video. So as I already mentioned, 2 of the palettes are from Unearthly Cosmetics, one being the Daily Grind, and this palette is freaking glorious. It's even better than I expected. They did update the shimmer formula to the new formula in this palette and a few others over on the site, but I've wanted this one for a long time, and thankfully one of you guys told me they were back in stock, so I was able to pick it up. And I also picked up the Don't Be Jelly. I've had FOMO over this palette since it released last year, and let me just tell you, it does not disappoint. This palette is freaking gorgeous. I love the looks that I created with both of these, but we're doing things a little backwards here because today I'm actually going to be filming the 3rd look. But let's go ahead and get into look number 1. So for this look, I'm going to be playing with the Daily Grind from Unearthly Cosmetics. And let me tell you, this palette is even more freaking beautiful than I ever imagined it would be. And like I mentioned in my haul video, I have been wanting to try this one out for a long time. So I'm really excited to dig in. But let me get my tools together and we will get started on this look. I'm really excited to play with this one. This is a really hard decision. I'm just gonna play around and just see what I create. I think I'm thinking too hard about it, but I'm gonna go ahead and set my eyelids if I can find my setting powder, and that way I can play with some of these darker tones on the inner corner. It'll be easier to get them to blend out without having a lighter shade on my very pale skin. Now I'm just going to use this BH Cosmetics shading brush, and I am going to stop overthinking it. I'm just going to pick up the green shade Creation, and I just want to like lightly press this in. I'm so happy that they restocked this palette. I think it's so freaking beautiful. And I'm really happy they put the new formula in it, the new shimmer formula, because I really love the Unearthly shimmers. I think they're freaking beautiful. I think I'm going to just leave this like that. I'm going to clean the brush off on my Sigma switch and use a little bit of this setting powder to help blend it out lighter, because the shades that I'm putting out here are not very dark shades, so I just want to change the depth of this shadow. Now I want to go in with the shade Grind. I'm using my Singe Beauty E06 for this. Look at the pigment on that. Wow. And I'm just going to press this in here. This was a good choice. Like you see how freaking easy that blended out. Now I'm going to switch on over to my E03, pick up more of that shade. This shade is really pigmented, really beautiful. It matches my lip color perfectly. Now I'm just going to use this little shading brush from Glamlight, and I'm picking up more of that Grind shade just to press it in here. I'm also going to take that same shade across the lower lash line. But now I'm going to use that same brush and I'm going to pick up the shade Hustle. And I'm just going to place a little bit of this out here. Try to add a little depth. Outer corner. And now I'm just going to use this brush to blend out those edges. Now I'm just going to use this BH Cosmetics packing brush and I'm going to plop some of this on the lid. I'm going to take that same brush, pick up a little bit of the shade Motivate, and I just want to place some of this right here. Look how sparkly that is. I will show you guys an up close of this so you can see, but this is so freaking beautiful. So reflective. Now I just cleaned off that brush on my Sigma switch and I'm going into the shade Ambition. I'm just going to use my finger. Actually, it's a lot easier. Make sure those two are like tapped together. I'm going to pick up a little more of that same shade on my pencil brush. And I'm going to plop some of this in the inner corner and some along the lower lash line. I need a little more brightness in my inner corner, so I'm just going to use some of my highlighter. Kind of helps tie the cheeks in anyway. And I feel like that did just that. And here is the eye. I'm going to go do the other one off camera and liner, and I will be right back to show you guys the finished look with everything complete. And here is the finished look. I love it. I think it's so pretty. The lip goes great with the eye. It might be a lot for some, but I am a lot, so it makes sense. But in my waterline, I just used a white liner and then went over it with a neon green eyeshadow to get a green liner situation because all of my green liners are dried out at the very moment. I'm looking for some really good neon liners right now, but I really enjoyed playing with this palette. What did I do with it? Here it is. I just think it's so beautiful. I can't wait to play more with it. I can see so many different really cool looks and I'm just excited about having it. But let's go ahead and move on over to look number 2. This is one palette I am so freaking excited to dig into. I've already swatched it. I'll pop those up here. And oh my god, it is so freaking beautiful. I'm so glad that I finally picked it up. Wish I would have picked it up sooner. But you know what they say, better late than never. It is so freaking beautiful. The shimmers are spectacular. And you know, I really love a blue eyeshadow. I love blues and purples together. I love the seafoam shade that's added in this palette as well. But I really want to play with the blues and greens. But since I already did another look with green in the inner corner, I'm going to try to stay away from that color combo for this video, but I'm ready to dig in. I think I'm going to do the blues and purples. So I'm going to start this look out with a small shader brush. This one is from Moda, and I'm going to pick up the shade Sea Star, and I'm just going to press this in the inner corner. I actually set my eyelids today with a powder, which I typically don't do, but I knew that I wasn't going to play with that green shade, so I wanted to make sure the eyelid was set. That way I could make this purple shadow work for an inner corner shade. But I'm just going to slightly press this, and I'm going to take it in just a little bit. Now I've just cleaned this brush off, and I'm going to blend out. But next, I am going to use my Cinch Beauty E06, and I'm going to pick up the shade Lagoon. This shade is so freaking vibrant and beautiful. But I'm just going to press this here. My only issue is I don't have anything in this palette to blend this out with. So I might have to go in with a little of this green. I really hope I don't regret this, but I'm going to use my Singe Beauty E03, I think, and I'm going to go into the shade Seafoam. So I need something to blend this blue out with, but I hope it doesn't, I hope it goes with the look. But you never know till you try, right? Yeah, that seems to be working just fine. Now I'm going to go in with this BH Cosmetics shading brush. It's a little smaller than the E06 from Singe, and you could be a little more precise with it. But I'm just going to add some more of this deep blue shade. I think this is going to be a fun eye look, but I'm really excited to play with those shimmer shades more than anything. Really love the Unearthly matte formula, but these shimmers are spectacular. Now I'm going to go back in and pick up some more of that Seafoam shade on this large blending brush, and just going to blend out the edges of that. I'm going to pick up a little more of that too and just make it fade into this blue a little better. So now for the outer corner, I want to dip into a little bit of this deep purple called Sea Urchin, and I'm just going to place this here. This shade is really beautiful. And now I'm going to go back in with that BH Cosmetics shading brush and pick up some more of the shade Lagoon. And I'm going to use that to blend this out. I'm basically just doing a run through of those same shades. I'm going to do the shimmers and then I'll work on the lower lash line because I'm not exactly sure what I want to do down there. But these shimmers are freaking stunning. The idea, which I still may do, I wanted to use HYDRA Space, which is really beautiful, and Sea Space. And then I also wanted to do a little of Salty on the inner corner, but just wanted to show you guys this shade, HYDRA Space. They're all beautiful, but there's something special about HYDRA Space. So that is what I'm going to do. Now let me find my Unearthly Cosmetics Glimmer Grasp. And I'm just going to put this on the lid. I'm just plopping this all over the lid. Everywhere I plan on putting down the shimmers. And then I'm going to give it a second to let it get more tacky. While I'm waiting for that, let's talk about this freaking highlighter. I picked up the Fenty Beauty Demi Glow highlighter. They're supposed to be like skin tones. There's tons of shades. I went and looked at them in person. But look how freaking beautiful that is. Oh my god. And the inside is gorgeous. I love this. It is like such a wet looking highlighter. It adds the perfect amount of like sheen to your cheeks. There's not like glitter particles or and stuff in it. It looks like pearl on your face. It's freaking stunning. But let's get back into the eye look. I want to pick up Sea Space first, and I'm just gonna plop some of this right here. This look might be a lot for a kid's birthday party, but I'm always a lot, especially when it comes to what I have on my eyes. But now I want to pick up HYDRA Space. I cleaned this off on my Sigma switch beforehand. But that is freaking stunning. Oh, and if you don't have a Sigma switch or one of like the brush cleaning tin things, what I did before I was able to pick one up is if you go to the Dollar Tree, they have these like microfiber dish drying mats. Buy those because that's what I cleaned my brush off on with. That's what I used to clean my brush off for years, and it worked really, really well. And it's $1. That is freaking breathtaking. Oh my god. Now let's do some inner corner highlight. I'm going to go into the shade Salty and just plop a little of this right here. Okay, so I'm going to go in with Lagoon. And I'm just going to put this against the lower lash line first. Let me use the mirror. I love the packaging of this too. It's so freaking cute. And in case I haven't said or I forget to say, I have a code with Unearthly Cosmetics. It is AOML, and if you use it, is that it? Yeah. If you use it, I really do appreciate it because it is affiliated and it will help out my channel, and I appreciate you guys supporting my channel. It really does mean a lot, and you can also save yourself some money as well. But now I'm going to use this BH Cosmetics shading brush, and I'm just going to blend it out. I just cleaned the brush off beforehand. Now I'm going to pick up a little more of that Seafoam shade. Now going in with my Where Are You? My Singe Beauty E07. I'm going to pick up a little more of Sea Urchin and help tie that purple back in down here. Since I don't have much purple down here on the lower lash line, I actually want to go in with this shade here called Jellyfish, and I'm going to add a little to this inner portion of my lower lash line. I just spray it with my Too Faced 3-in-1 Hangover Setting Spray. But I'm just going to tap this right here, help really tie that inner corner down below as well. And here is the eye before liner and lashes and all the things. You cannot tell me this isn't freaking gorgeous. I'm so glad that I chose to use that green to blend out the blue. Like I said, I think it really added so much to this eye look. But I'm going to go do lashes and liner and the other eye off camera. And I will be right back to show you guys the finished look. And here is the finished look with lashes and everything done. Oh my god, this eye look is freaking gorgeous. The shimmers on the lid. In my waterline, I am wearing the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Icebreaker. My lip combo is the Revolution. My lip combo is the Revlon Color Stay Longwear Lip Liner in the shade Mauve. And I topped it with the Lunar Beauty and Laura Lee Full Coverage Collection. And it's the lipstick in the shade Mora. And I topped that with my Unearthly Lip Gloss in the shade Omen. And I love this. I'm so happy that I finally got to pick up this palette. And like I said, if you guys decide to pick it up, you can use my code. All the details for everything that I'm wearing on my face will be down below in my description box. But let's go ahead and move on to the next look. I don't know what this is doing right here, but we're just gonna, it's not one. Wow. We're gonna have to make this work, guys. So today I'm actually going to be doing a neutral look. I'm really getting a lot of inspiration from this highlighter I've been trying out. It's the Fenty Beauty. I think I wore it yesterday in the other look, but it's so freaking beautiful. I love it. It's so bronzy and just freaking perfect. I'm so excited about it. But as I mentioned, I got this in a BoxyCharm. It's really, really pretty. And like I said, I've not tried this formula yet, so I'm excited to play with them. You guys know, if you've been here for any amount of time, that I am going to play with the yellow and probably like the chocolate shade. If you guys want to know about anything that's on my face, it will all be linked down below in my description box. But I'm going to start with this Glam Light Friday the 13th brush, and I'm going to start with the shade Desire here in the inner corner. I think Tarte used to be an indie brand, but now they're mainstream. They got bought out. I wanted this to be like an indie brand video, but I don't know if they're an indie brand or not. Let me know down below if you guys know. I may have to go in with one of these lighter shades to kind of lighten it up a little bit, but for the most part, I'm happy with that so far. Then I'm going to go in with my Cinch Beauty E06, and I'm going to go into the shade Alluring. It's like a chocolate brown, but it has a little bit of a yellow undertone to it. It's really pretty. But I'm going to start with this deeper shade because I want to make sure that I get full pigment. I really don't know much about the Tarte eyeshadow. I don't know anything. Yes, I do. I have a palette from Tarte, and it's actually one of my favorite neutral palettes in my collection. It is the Sunrise palette, and it is freaking beautiful. So I completely forgot about that palette. I just don't wear neutrals a lot, so it didn't stick out in my mind. I like the first palette a little more because it's got a little more color to it, like the first Man Eater palette. But this one's really pretty too. I like how like grungy and stuff that it is. You could get so many different looks out of it. Personally, I feel like there's too many like light beige shades. They do all have like different undertones, but still. But if they were all like pastels, I'd probably feel differently about it. It's most likely just because I'm more of a colorful girly, but I do like the occasional neutral look too. I'm going to switch on over to this Unearthly Cosmetics number 5 brush. I'm just going to go into that same shade. If you're someone who doesn't like know a lot about makeup brushes, I know I wasn't very familiar with them when I first started. The smaller the brush, the more pigment you get. The bigger the brush, the less. You can be a lot more precise with a brush of this size. And that's why I love my little tiny brushes. These are very amazing new additions to my collection. They're, like I said, they're from Unearthly Cosmetics. They have them in the green handle and I think an orange as well, but I think they're out of stock at the moment. If you guys are interested in them, I'll try to keep you updated. Okay, now that I've got that placed down, I'm going to go in with my Cinch Beauty E03. It's a large blending brush, and I'm going to go back into that yellow. And I'm just going to use this yellow to slightly blend on the edge of this brown shade. I'm going back into that brown with my Cinch Beauty E06 just to blend this out, deepen it up a little. I'm just going to do the same thing on the lower lash line as well. Starting with that yellow shade, I'm going to use my Unearthly Cosmetics number 7 brush. No, I'm not. I'm going to switch on over to that number 5. I've just cleaned the brush off on my Sigma switch. And I'm just going to put this along the lower lash line. Now I'm going to go in with that same brush and pick up some more of the shade Alluring. And I'm going to just press this along here. Make sure it meets up in this outer portion. Now, if you're someone who just likes not as much depth, I mean, this is a lot of depth. You could totally put a light shimmer on here and you could get tons of contrast out of this, but for me, I want to bring in a little more. So I'm going to use that same brush, just cleaned it off on my Sigma switch. And I'm going to pick up this shade here called Animal Instinct. And it's just a black matte. The matte was a little hard pressed, so I'm a little eager to see like how it works. And it looks pretty freaking pigmented on the eye. Now I'm going to go in with that Unearthly number 7 brush and pick up the shade Alluring. Chocolate brown. It's not really a chocolate, but you know what I mean. And I'm just using this to really blend out those edges of that black. Trying to use up these two NYX glitter glues because they both like have a dot in them. And this one's done. Yay. Let me know down below, do you guys like Empty's videos? Because I don't know, I feel like they do okay, but I'm gonna stop like collecting trash for a video if you guys aren't really into it. If you're not, it's okay. Just let me know your thoughts on them down below. Now, the question is, which shimmer? These all look really... Do you guys think these look similar? See what they look like on the hand. There's slight differences, but I feel like they weren't all necessary. Okay, so I'm going to start this out with this green shade here called Fantasy. And I'm going to put this out here on the edge. The green could be cute with this. I got fallout, but I might have picked up a little too much. But like I was saying, the green could be really cute with this yellow, and that's pigmented. It's going a long way. And I think I'm going to go into this shade Wild at Heart. And I'm going to put this on the lid. I think I want to add a little bit of brightness to this. So I'm just going to use this highlighter. But if you have any type of like champagne gold highlighter, you could do the same thing. And yes, that's what I wanted. And there wasn't a shade, a shimmer shade in this palette light enough. However, there is a matte, which I will probably use for the inner corner. Now for the inner corner, I'm going to go into this shade here called Playful. I'm just using a BH Cosmetics pencil brush. And here is the finished eye. I'm going to go off camera and do liner, lashes, and all of the things. And then I will be back to tell you how I feel about this look, how I feel about these palettes, and just give you my first impressions on them. I am back with look number 3 complete. For my liner, I used the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Cosmic Yellow, and I love it. I think it's so pretty. And for lashes, I know I don't tell you guys a lot what I use because I always have them all mixed up, but this just happens to be a new pack, and it is the Ardell 817. I just cut like 3 clusters off the end because they are like super long, but I think they're really pretty. But I love this. I think it's really, really pretty. But let's talk about all 3 palettes. Now, out of the looks that I created in this video, my favorite palette definitely goes to the Don't Be Jelly. I freaking love that look that I did yesterday with this palette. I thought it was so freaking beautiful, and this palette is incredible, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. And then coming in at number 2 is the Daily Grind. If I could put both of these at number 1, I would, because they performed beautifully. And you guys know they're number 1. For one, this is my favorite brand, and they're my favorite for a reason. I just love the color stories. I'm a colorful lover at heart. which is why these ones ranked higher. This is a good palette. I think this retails for around 60 bucks. And I don't know if it's a preference thing, but personally, I would have never paid that much for it. But I also am not crazy about neutrals the same way maybe you guys might be. I don't know if you like neutrals or not, but it's okay. I'm happy I got to try it. I think the look is beautiful, but I did really love the other two a lot more. And if you guys want to pick up anything from Unearthly Cosmetics, you can use my code. All that info is down in the description box. And if you use it, I really do appreciate it because it is affiliated. I do make a small kickback and you also save money. So it's kind of like you scratch my back, I'll scratch your kind of thing. But let me know down below if you have any of these palettes and which one of these looks were your favorite. I love hearing from you guys and I appreciate you watching this video all the way to the end. I had so much fun creating all of these looks, but thank you so much. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, bye.